Afternoon, Shruti.
You haven't attended the class yesterday, right?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Shruti,
Ma'am, sorry, what did you say?
I said you were not there in the class yesterday, right?
No, ma'am, my Wi-Fi went off.
Okay. Then yesterday, after Roman, like, as we have completed Roman, we have done early Christian architecture and your Byzantine. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So go through the video. Uh, so today we'll be starting with Romanesque art. Romanesque architecture. Okay. So write down the characteristics feature. So the time period is ninth to 15th century.
Can you repeat the time period?
Uh, 9th to 15th century. The characteristics features. Harshita, please write it down.
Okay, ma'am.
Romanesque. Okay. Romanesque architecture is direct modification of Roman architecture, which grew in Italy, France, Germany, Central Europe, Spain, and Britain. Next point, in the early period, Romanesque style, Romanesque style gathered the material from gathered the material from ruins of Roman buildings, from the ruins of Roman building, and with proper understanding, and with proper understanding, a new style or a new art was founded was founded on the
Ma'am, on the
old मतलब on the old buildings or whatever architecture it was, they started making some new buildings to that.
ma'am, can you please repeat from in the earlier period?
In the earlier period, Romanesque style gathered the
Romanesque
material,
style.
yeah,
Style gathered the material.
from the ruins of Roman buildings.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. From here it's there.
Okay.
Ma'am, what are these characteristics of?
Romanesque architecture.
Okay, ma'am.
In the chat box, I have dropped down the spelling even. You can check it from there. So the later Romanesque style, the later Romanesque style was remarkable for the use of new constructive methods,
Remarkable for?
the new use of constructive methods, the use of new constructive methods. The new system was consisted of the new system was consisted of using comparatively small sized dressed stones dressed stones with thick mortar joints with thick mortar joints. The Roman cross walls, which were used till 12th century, were very heavy, were very heavy and difficult to construct. These were gradually replaced by these were gradually replaced by rib and panel rib and panel vaulting.
Ma'am, the Roman cross words.
Vaults, vaults, vaults,
Acha, walls. Okay, okay.
which a framework of ribs in which a
Ma'am, that is the
framework of
same point.
हाँ
Same point है.
हाँ सेम पॉइंट है उसी के साथ कंटिन्यूएशन है फुल स्टॉप भी नहीं है इट्स replaced by rib and panel vaulting in a framework of ribs in which a framework of ribs was constructed in which framework of ribs was first constructed over which thin panels were placed over which thin panels were placed. Next point, the plans of basilican churches. Shivani, you have you have to go through the recording again because there were few points which you have left. Start writing from this. This is the third point. Start writing from here. The plans of basilican churches
Okay, ma'am.
were slightly modified in this period. The transept, which is southern and northern parts, the transepts, which were southern and northern parts, were added.
Ma'am, please could you repeat this line?
The transepts, which were southern and northern parts, were added, defining the defining the church defining the church plan to be a cross. To be a cross. The breadth of transepts, the breadth of the transepts was equal to the nave, was equal to the nave, which in turn, which in turn was usually twice the width of aisle, which sorry, which was usually twice the width of the aisle. The choir was enclosed. The choir was enclosed by screen walls or channels. Towers which were square, octagonal, or circular.
मैम टावर मैम लाइन रिपीट कर दीजिए प्लीज.
Towers which were square, octagonal, or circular were outstanding feature of this style. Were outstanding feature of the style. Next point. Walls were roughly built. Walls were roughly built. Sometimes wall arcading was done with attached columns. Sometimes wall arcading was done with attached columns with rough capitals. With rough capitals.
The wall arcading was done.
Just a minute. Wall arcading was done with attached columns
Attached columns
with rough capitals.
with rough capitals. Okay.
Yes. Next point. Arcades were very common. Arcades were very common where columns were used to support where columns were used to support semicircular openings or arches. Semicircular openings or arches. The columns were molded with the columns were molded with Attic base. The columns were molded with Attic base, and the abacus was molded with and the abacus was molded with alternate fillets and hollows. Alternate fillets and hollows. Next point.
Ma'am, the
Ornamentations.
columns
The columns were molded with Attic base.
epic
Attic, Attic,
at okay.
Attic base, and the abacus was molded with alternate fillets and hollows.
Fillets.
Fillets,
Okay.
Fillets, fillets
Okay.
and hollows.
Okay, ma'am. मम्मी चुप रहो.
Ornamentations were in vegetal and animal forms, and the frescoes were more common.
मैम ornaments वाली लाइन एक बार फिर से रिपीट कर दीजिए.
Just a minute, just a minute. So give me a minute. I'll be just back. Shruti, from where you wanted to like read me out? From ornamentations.
Yes, ma'am. From ornaments.
Ornamentations were in vegetal and animal forms.
Ma'am, in what?
Vegetal and animal forms, like vegetation wala form.
Okay.
And frescoes were more common than mosaic. And frescoes were more common than mosaics for interior decoration. Stained glass was less used in Romanesque style. Stained glass was less used in Romanesque style. There are few examples. So the first one is Pisa Cathedral. Pisa Cathedral in Italy.
Ma'am, can you please write the spelling of the cathedral? नहीं मतलब which cathedral it is?
Pisa, Pisa. The time period is 160, sorry, um, 1063 to 92, 1092. It's a plan and similar to the Basilican churches. It's a plan similar to Basilican churches. It has a long row of columns. It has a long row of columns supporting arches, double aisles, and central nave.
Central.
Nave, N-A-V-E. Transepts and segmental apse at each end.
Ma'am, after nave, can you repeat?
Transept, sorry, transepts and segmental apse at each end. The building possesses the building possesses delicacy of treatment, a delicacy of treatment, grace, fine proportion. The next topic is, or the next example is the campanile. Campanile.
Ma'am, spelling.
I've written it. Campanile. Pisa. Okay. Uh, this is also in Italy, and the year is 1174. I write down this is world famous leaning tower. This is world famous leaning tower, 15.8 meter in dia, 15.8 meter in dia, rising to the height of rising to the height of 57 meter, rising to the height of 57 meter in 8 stories of encircling arcades. In 8 stories of enriching arcades. Due to the settlement of foundation,
Ma'am, it's encircling our caves or what?
yes, stories of encircling arcades, like
Okay.
two different words. Due to the settlement of foundation, the upper part of the tower has leaned as as
The upper part of the
the upper part of the tower has leaned as much as 4.2 meter.
Shruti,
हाँ
The
तुमने
Harshita, were you asking something? Or Shruti, you were
yes,
asking?
ma'am, I was
Acha.
asking. Ma'am, in the fifth point, the transepts which were southern and northern parts were added, defining the church. उसके बाद थोड़ा सा मेरा मिस हो गया है.
Okay, just a minute. Shruti, can you repeat this?
even I am finding कि किधर है.
I guess characteristics features में था ना? हाँ,
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, the southern and northern parts were added,
Yes, ma'am, इतना है.
thus making the church well-defined cross on plan.
Well
मतलब I
defined.
cross on plan means I have like dictated something else earlier. मतलब कुछ और statement में था, but अभी मुझे ये नहीं याद है कि मैंने क्या statement कहा. You just write down this one. Thus making the church well-defined cross on plan.
Okay, ठीक है.
Is it's just there were मतलब there, that was a cross plan और northern और southern part थे उसमें बस simple. What we were writing? The tower was begun in 1174 AD by the architect.
Raj said कि the tower has leaned as much as 4.2 meters. उसके बाद
The tower was begun in 1174 AD by the architect Bonanus of Pisa. I have written down the spelling of Bonanus of Pizza. Yes, Harshita.
नथिंग मैम, वो बाय मिस्टेक हो गया था.
Acha, okay, okay. No issue. And its belfry was constructed and its belfry was constructed only after 1350. Uh, Write down the next topic, the baptistry, Pisa.
And the
Baptistry, baptistry. Uh, Time period is 1155 to 1278. 1155 to 1278. It forms the most famous group of Pisa buildings. It forms the most famous group of Pisa buildings. It's circular in plan. It's circular in plan with a central nave 18.3 meters in diameter. These are special features of Italian Romanesque architecture. These are special features of Italian Romanesque architecture where baptismal baptismal rite was carried out thrice a year. I'll share your image. What they have done, it has a circular dome. Sorry, it has a straight frustum kind of a dome, and now it has been changed to a circular one, like a semicircular, and it has a small like central opening which is also raised and had a circular or a semi sorry not circular, a semicircular dome. So I'll share this in the group then. Then the next is Saint Ambrogio, Milan. The time period is 1088, 1088 to 1128. It is designed on the plan of Lombard churches. It is designed on the plan of Lombard churches. It consists of usual elements. It consists of usual elements of a church, such as the atrium, the atrium, and the rectangular court forming the approach. Forming the approach. Next is the narthex. Next is the narthex between atrium and church, which is flanked by the towers,
Between atrium
and church flanked by towers.
Flanked by.
Towers. The narthex opens to the vaulted nave. The narthex opens to the vaulted nave and aisles at its end. The pulpit consists of series of arches. The pulpit con- consists of series of arches carved with animals and birds.
Ma'am, the what consists of?
Pulpit, Pulpit,
Consists of.
series of arches
Okay.
carved with animals and birds. The next is the next is the Abbey Church, Abbey. It was constructed time period the time period is 1089 to 1131. 1089 to 1131. It formed one of the famous monastic it formed one of the famous monastic buildings, but now it's completely destroyed. But now it's completely destroyed. It was the largest church in France. It was the largest church in France, and it contained nave, choir, double aisles, double aisles, double transepts, and five epicidal chapel. Five epicidal chapels. Write down the next topic. The Church of Apostles. The Church of Apostles. The time period is 1035 to 1220. 1035 to 1230. Write down the church contains a broad nave. The church contains a broad nave, aisles, half its width, aisles, half its width, transepts and choirs. An octagonal tower, an octagonal tower makes the building more impressive. Makes the building more impressive. That's
An
it. This,
octagonal
huh?
tire.
Please repeat again.
An octagonal tire.
An octagonal tower
Tower. Okay.
make, makes the building more impressive. Um, I have sent you all the images. So you have a plan of the Abbey Church, and you have like other buildings as well. There's a image 17.4, and this one is the baptistry. इसमें half दिया हुआ है where you have the original and the half is the existing one. ठीक है, जब नोट्स लिखना और ये सारे स्केचेस कंप्लीट कर लेना. एंड अभी हम लोगों ने रोमानेस्क तक कर लिया है. इन नेक्स्ट क्लास विल फिनिश आवर गॉथिक. आई वांट कि इतने नोट्स एटलीस्ट कंप्लीट करके like you will be writing sorry you are writing down in your note, तो उसके सारे images क्लिक करके एक पीडीएफ बना के सेंड कर देना. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.